If you take a walk outside of your house, just stroll up and down the block, you see people on their cell phones when they're driving, walking, and even riding bicycles. This has become a major problem and it seems to be killing communication skills between teenagers and adults. So, my question is, how can we encourage more person to person communication and lessen the need of technology to communicate with one another? And how can we push this on our generation and the next generation to come? Because public speaking and communication between peers is one of the most important things in a successful business environment. According to a survey conducted by pewglobal.org, in 15 of 21 countries surveyed, which you can see here in this graph, at least 25% of those use social networking sites. Israel sitting at 53%, and the United States at 50%, coming up in second place. Now, in this speech, I would like to hit three key factors, in my opinion, that would help promote communication skills and something that we all should do in our free time and to improve our self public speaking skills. The first one is school, followed by hobbies or our activities that we do in our free time. And the last one is my most important factor is the business and at a work setting. I believe if we integrate communication training into these three subjects, we will greatly improve our communication skills. And for the first point, which is school, I feel that we learn a lot of useful information in school. But we seem to also learn a lot of useless information in school as well. I know in my own experience, I can tell you I don't remember half of the stuff I did in school. I think the most important thing I learned in school was counting, writing, and pretty much recess, because that was the funnest thing I did in school that I can remember. But I have never had to use the square root of this and this to get this equation. If we substitute that for a public speaking skill, then maybe we would produce better communicators coming out of school and college. Now, I think first in our English classes we should introduce business communication into the curriculum and promote the use of student to student communication. Also, we should integrate other classes with public speaking as well. For instance, math. Everybody hates math. So let's put in, for instance, like each student should come to the board every day and solve a problem and explain to the class how they reached the answer step by step in detail. And have the teacher grade on the math part of this class and also grade on their presentation. Now, we usually all practice this in school anyway, so to add a little bit more will not hurt at all. But along with the actual material being presented, we should also focus a lot of time on presentations and the skills of public presentation. In an article from the WashingtonPost.com, they state that employers in the UK regularly say that they want to recruit people who are effective public communicators and team workers. But they also complain that job candidates often lack such skills. Now, as for activities and hobbies, there should be more activities that engage students to communicate more, such as debate clubs, model UNs, math competitions, and even spelling bees. These are all great examples of getting some knowledge in public speaking, especially for spelling bees. You're standing in front of an audience, trying to think in your brain of how to spell a word, while also trying to communicate into a microphone and get everything correct all at one time. And this happens when kids are very, very young. This teaches them a lot of skills for public speaking. And I think this is a major problem because we encourage our children to be the best that they can be. But in the same sentence, we say last place is as good as first place. This is not correct to me. And we are allowing our children to grow up with low hopes and expectations. Not many would agree with me, but that's just my own opinion. In the business setting, I think there should be a mandate on all businesses that use public speaking and high communication to integrate work-related public speaking challenges or competitions against other employees. Challenge your employees to become better and not allowing them to settle for the last place, even though our mothers always told us last place is just as good as first place. In an article by publicwords.com, they state, a bad public speaker is opportunities lost. When it comes to business functions, and it's expensive and time consuming to gather groups of employees or shareholders or customers or the general public together. You should have a good reason for doing so, and you should make the most of the time spent together, especially in the virtual age. Gathering a group of people is an enormous opportunity to move them, to inspire them, and to re-excite them about your company, your products, or your mission. Well, in these last few weeks, I learned a lot about public speaking and what it actually entails to be a good public speaker. With all the knowledge that I've learned, I plan this speech to produce to my audience and let them know that public speaking is something that needs to be worked on all the time. From when we are young kids in school to when we are adults in the real world, in our business classes, or in our business setting at work. Throughout my research and topics brought up by fellow classmates in the discussion section, I can see that there is a few key things to become a successful public speaker. Well, one must start while they are young and still learning new things because they will learn best and absorb all that new information. I also found that to be a good communicator, one must display skills learned while we were kids, such as to be a good speaker, one must be a good listener, or should be able to control your volume to your surroundings. I know everyone's mother or parental figure always said to them, use your inside voice when you were too loud in your house. To me, this was the first lesson of public speaking. This is why we must promote better communication skills in schools, in our activities, and also when we graduate and start an entry level job somewhere. We need to challenge our minds, challenge our bodies to be successful in everything we do in our life. Thank you.